For Sunday, July 26, 2020. This is the Pro and the Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James Ott. As always, welcome to the show. So, the Pro and Con Show continues on. There's hundreds of shows in the rearview mirror and 100 to go, because today is day 100 away from November 3rd. So it's a infamous round number, 100 days to the election. And that's the title of the show, is 100. But before I get to that, let's go back and just say, okay, the purpose of the show is me trying to influence people to be better citizens, okay? To step away from apathy or anger or frustration and start listening to each other so that we can come to common ground. And I tell you with absolute certainty that there's a lot of common ground out there. We just we won't let ourselves see it. And the main reason is, again, that the political parties are manipulating us and they're pushing our emotional hot buttons and they're getting us to separate into these two tribes, Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, whatever you want, the simple labels that propagandists use to control people. This is what they're doing. And we've got to be better than that. You folks, you and I, we have to be better than that. We have to step back and say, okay, what are the facts? That's the simple facts, the who, the what, the where, and the when. I had a fellow I was talking to him the other day. He's like, well, why don't you include why and how? And I would, except the why and the how very often are not that evident. Sometimes they are. And if they are, fine, report them, the why and the how. But very often, you can say, well, this hotel was burglarized and, so these things were taken and it happened sometime, Thursday night and da-da-da-da-da. The who, the what, the why, and the when. Or the who, the what, the where, and the when. Yeah. But then when you get into why and how, well, it was burglarized. So why? Well, probably because somebody was looking to steal some valuable stuff. But I'm not absolutely sure about that. And then how? Well, it looks like this window was broken and this is how they entered. But are you sure? Well, less certain about that. Okay? So that's why I focus on the who, the what, the where, and the when. Okay, and I kind of leave off the how and the why, because so often, again, that opens up to a lot of speculation in many cases. Not always, but many. But anyway, 100 days until November 3rd, 2020. And there's a bunch of us that are thinking, oh, thank God, there's only 100 days. When can we get this thing over? There's another bunch of us that are saying, oh my God, it's only 100 days. Are we ready? And the other thing about the 100 days is it's a very symbolic, arbitrary point. It's just a round number, 100 days. And so, should we attach that much significance to it? No, not really. No, we shouldn't. It's just 100 days, and tomorrow will be 99 days, and it's 99 days isn't any less or any more important than 100. The other thing that I will say is after Mr. Biden and or Mr. Trump are Mr. Trump are elected president in November, then, there's this thing about the first 100 days in office. Again, this thing like, okay, 100 days, it's really important. Ooh, it's 100 days. It's arbitrary, and especially when it comes to governing the country, one of the very worst things I would argue that we can do is try to press to get legislation done or something in 100 days, when this country has been around for hundreds of years and hopefully will be around for hundreds of years more. This is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so this whole arbitrary 100 days, let's create excitement around this and create pressure around it and create meaning around it. Oh, I would wish that we wouldn't do that. All of us would step back and say, that doesn't really make sense to put any kind of emphasis on this arbitrary number 100. It's a nice round number, and that's nice, but who cares? And quite frankly, who cares? So step by step, it does mean, though, it is truly factual. Okay, when it's 100 days from the election, that is a true thing. And at the moment, most of the polls, and again, look at Real Clear Politics. This is the place I go. They seem to have the most I don't want to say independent, reliable, fullest listing of all the different polls, and you can just look at them. You can look at the results from all the different organizations that poll Americans before these elections, and see the different groups and their polling results. And you can, if you want to dig into it more, you can say, well, this group is more right-leaning or left-leaning or whatever. But in the end, what is certainly happening is the polls are indicating that Mr. Biden is leading Mr. Trump nationally by, say, 10-ish, plus minus, percentage points on a national scale, and that he's winning, at least if the votes were carried out today. In theory, if these polls are correct, then many of the swing states, the so-called swing states, like my state of Wisconsin, right here at Wisconsin, many of them are polling with Biden at a lead and a significant lead. For example, again, the state of Wisconsin, the average of those polls seems to be around a 10-point lead for Mr. Biden over Mr. Trump. But we'll see. 100 days, it's 3 months. So we got a little bit more than 3 months to go until the election. And there'll be lots and lots of rhetoric from both political parties and from the candidates themselves. And, the vast majority of us Americans won't really appreciate a lot of the, all the ads that are on television. And this is where, again, most people start getting frustrated because just one political ad after another, and very often they're attack ads, right? So attacking one candidate over the other. And it's disheartening and frustrating. And just to poke this again, is it's our fault. Whose fault? It's my fault, and it's your fault. You out there, if you're watching this broadcast or watching me on these videos, it's my fault, it's your fault. We are allowing this to occur. And if you really want to fix it, and we can fix it, then guess what? We're going to have to be good citizens, and we're going to have to step up on a national level and demand that we amend the Constitution. That's what it's going to take. Because the Constitution is more or less silent on the what is free speech in regard to spending money or whatever, and the Supreme Court, pretty much came down fairly consistently now that spending money is part of free speech. And so, buying ads, you can do that. And, those of us that are bombarded with them, we don't have to watch them. I mean, as in pay attention to them, but we can't stop them from coming into our homes, and we can't stop the rhetoric and stuff like that because we have not amended our Constitution as we can. This is our country. This is our Constitution. This is our government, so we can change it. And we have. We've changed it many, many, many times. There's 27 amendments to the Constitution. Okay? 27. And 10 of them, the first 10 amendments, came out at the same time that the Constitution was being ratified. So major changes even in the day that the thing was written. So we can do it, but you and I are going to have to do it. Well, so enough about the 100 days. We'll see. You and I, we will see. Time will tell what happens with this election. And we'll see how things change over the next 100 days. And until the next show, this has been the Pro and Con Show. I am your host, Michael James Ott. Until the next show, as always, bye for now.